fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. The Lone Ranger.
Jolting its way across the Arizona Badlands, the stage to Deepwell was making good time. But to Bob West, the stage seemed to be crawling. After 2 years in Brimstone prison, he was coming home, and the girl he loved, the girl who still believed in him despite everything, would be waiting.
Let's get him. Hands up. You're wasting your time. All I have is 85 cents. Considering you just got out of jail, that's all right. You know me? You're the only passenger, so I reckon your name is West. Sure, but what's it to you? Plenty.
The driver won't give us no trouble.
Dead?
No, just a flesh wound on the shoulder. It'll keep him out of action. Not much of a hole.
When you're just out of Brimstone, you can't be too choosy about your first job. You weren't at Brimstone prison? That's right, but you were. Keep him covered. I've got a horse for you in the rocks. Come on. What's the idea? You wouldn't be safe in town. You see, you just held up a stage and shot the driver. Now, wait a minute. You mean you're pinning this on me? That's right. That's what the boss wants.
Come on, he said. Try and make me go.
Easy. See about the driver, Tonto. I'll look inside.
Driver unconscious, Kemo Sabe. He stopped bleeding.
The strong box has been opened. Tonto, look at this. It says, "This is only the beginning," and it's signed R.W. I found it pinned to the side of the coach with his knife.
R.W., them initials of man who hold up stage?
It looks like it, and it looks like he intends to commit more crimes.
Him want people to know him hold up stage?
Sometimes criminals want credit for their crimes because of vanity or for revenge.
Maybe Sheriff in Deepwell know who R.W. is.
I hope so. You take the stage on into town. You better take these with you. I'll backtrack and try to pick up R.W.'s trail. Meet me later in the grove west of town.
Better put driver in coach.
Yes, I'll give you a hand.
Bob, darling. It's Charlie. He's been hurt.
Stage held up and driver shot.
A hold-up?
Ah.
Well, what about the passengers?
Me not see any passengers.
But I was expecting someone. Bob wrote that he'd be in on...
It was probably delayed. There's no cause for alarm, Virginia.
Well, something must have happened. We were going to be married this afternoon.
All right. Step aside, boys. What's all the excitement?
There's been a hold-up, Sheriff. This Indian brought the stage in.
Driver shot him, still unconscious. Note pinned the stage with the knife.
Get it back right away, Jim. This is only the beginning. R.W.
R.W.?
That's right, Cloverleaf. Miss Elson, didn't you say Bob West was coming on this stage?
Well, yes, we were going to be... Oh, Sheriff Roberts, you don't think those are his initials?
R.W. could stand for Robert West.
Oh, no.
That's ridiculous.
What about the threats he made when the jury found him guilty?
Yeah, he cursed everybody in town.
Oh, he said a lot of things he didn't mean. You would have, too, if you were being sent to prison for something you didn't do.
He said he was going to come back and wipe this town off the map.
Threatened to get square with Judge McGarry and the whole jury.
He was angry at what he considered an injustice. Nobody took him seriously.
Well, I'm not accusing him yet.
Slate, you're a lawyer. Make them understand Bob's no bandit.
He went to jail for stealing cattle, didn't he?
Shut up, Thorson. When Bob gets here, I'm sure he can explain. He probably wasn't anywhere near the stage.
Yeah? What about Charlie's passenger list? There's only one. Robert West.
No.
I can't ride with this arm. Thornton, get a posse together.
You bet.
You going with him, Coverly?
You know better than that. Bob's a friend of mine.
It's like a nightmare. What are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll think of something. We mustn't lose faith in Bob.
You're right again, Slate.
After taking Virginia home, Slate Corbally rode some distance out of town.
Who is it?
Open up, Bernal. Where is he?
O'Neill's got him in the other room.
Slate.
The boys making you comfortable?
Say, if I wasn't so glad to see you, I'd wring your neck for pulling a joke like this.
Oh, it's no joke. That was a real holdup.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
You wanted revenge. I'm going to see that you get it.
What?
By the time you're through, there won't be a businessman or rancher left in Deepwell.
What do you mean?
After your one-man reign of terror, I'll own the town, lock, stock, and barrel.
Well, look, I don't know what you're talking about. There's not going to be any revenge or any reign of terror. I'm not going to...
You're going to do just as you're told to do. I've been planning this ever since you lost your head at the trial and made those stupid threats. You're going to hand me the town on a silver platter.
Well, you're crazy.
You'll be blamed for everything that happens in the next 2 weeks. And plenty's going to happen.
And you were my friend. You even defended me at the trial.
That's what you thought. Untie his hands.
What are you going to do?
You're going to write letters warning certain people to get out of town or suffer the consequences.
Why should I? If you go through this crazy scheme of yours, you'll kill me anyway.
If you don't cooperate, we'll make things rather uncomfortable for somebody you're fond of.
Virginia.
That's right. Your bride-to-be will be taken care of.
Hold it.
You better control that temper of yours if you want Virginia to stay healthy. Now, sit down. First letter to Sheriff Roberts. Go on, right. 2 years ago, I swore to get even with the people who sent me to prison unjustly. If the following men aren't out of town within 2 days...
After spending a long time studying the trail left by Bob and the outlaws, the Lone Ranger arrived at their meeting place in the grove near Deepwell. There, Tonto told the Lone Ranger what he had learned in town.
If Bob West carry out threats, then other people in other towns be afraid to be on jury and testify against crooks.
That would be a threat to law and order. But I'm not sure West is the man we're after.
But Kemo Sabe him leave note, and sheriff said...
Anyone can print a note. The ground was too hard to follow the trail very far, but there were marks in the dust on the road.
What that mean?
2 men held up the stagecoach, and they had another horse waiting behind some rocks.
West have gang?
From the prints in the dust, he fought with one of the men, then had to be practically dragged to his horse.
You think them force him to go with them?
It looks that way. West may be the victim of a frame-up.
Good thing you find prints. We go tell Sheriff?
We'll tell him, but he may not believe me.
Hello, Sheriff.
Oh, hello, Slate.
Any news from the posse?
No, doggone it. If I didn't have this busted arm, I'd be out there with them.
You'd be wasting your time. Bob didn't hold up that stage.
Well, who did?
Well, I don't know. Oh, Bob's hot-tempered, but he'd never do it.
See who it is, will you?
Sure.
Don't drop.
What's the idea?
Who are you?
My mask often gives people the wrong impression, but I'm no outlaw.
Then who are you?
I'm usually spoken of as the Lone Ranger. Perhaps this card from the governor and this bullet will prove it.
I recognize the governor's signature. Silver. Great Scott, it's the Lone Ranger.
That's right, Sheriff.
When Tonto was bringing the coach into town, I tried to follow the trail from the scene of the holdup.
What?
I didn't get far. But the footprints in the road indicate that West was forced from the coach against his will.
Ah, that doesn't make sense.
Should you think of a better way to stage a holdup and pin the blame on somebody else?
Mister, I hope you can prove that. I've said all along Bob couldn't have done it.
The wind has probably erased the prints by now. I can't offer any tangible proof.
But what the? Who was that?
There's a paper around it.
Well, whoever threw it got away. Let me see that paper.
Just a minute. Here, Sheriff.
Well, it's from Bob West.
Bob West?
Yeah. 2 years ago, I swore I'd get even with the people who sent me to prison unjustly. If the following men aren't out of town within 2 days, I'll drive them out. Judge McGarry, Sarge Thorson, Charlie Green, James Burt. Why, he's named everybody in town, including me.
Let me see that.
Looks like you're wrong this time, mister.
Is that in West's handwriting?
I'm afraid it is.
If I didn't have this broken arm, I'd track the varmint down myself.
You're overlooking one thing. Whoever forced West to leave that stagecoach could have forced him to write that letter.
You still think it's a frame-up?
Could be. How else do you explain the marks in the road?
Well, you're the only one that saw them. Maybe you misunderstood them.
I'll continue to believe he's innocent until there's proof to the contrary. However, I'd suggest that you warn the people listed in that letter.
I'll do that. Tell Gino Bruni to ride and warn everybody.
Glad to. We'll warn Judge McGarry. I'd like to see him anyway.
All right.
Sheriff Roberts, I'd like to see the records of West's trial. Would you write a note to the judge asking him to let us see them?
Well, no harm in that.
How'd it go, Slade?
You stupid fools didn't cover your tracks at the holdup.
Huh?
The Lone Ranger's in town. He knows West fought back.
The Lone Ranger?
Somehow we've got to convince him West isn't being framed.
How?
Get hold of Virginia Elson. Tell her Bob wants to see her. Bring her out to the shack. When you come in, don't stand between her and the bedroom door.
I don't see how
I
that's
haven't
going.
got time to explain now. I'll be at the shack ahead of you, but out of sight.
All right, boss.
Why do you want to see the records of the trial?
Perhaps West was sent to prison unjustly. We'll leave by the back door to avoid being seen. See you later, Sheriff. Come on, Tonto. Tal, I also want to talk to the girl that Bob's going to marry. I don't want to be seen by the townspeople, so ride out to the Elston place and ask her to come to Judge McGarry's.
Ah, me do.
Yes?
Miss Elston, I have a message for you.
A message from whom?
Are you alone?
Dad's out mending fence. Why?
The message is from Bob.
Bob.
I think I'd better come in. I don't want anyone to see me.
Has something happened to him? Where is he?
Well, I'll take you to him.
But why the mystery? What's the matter?
Well, he wants to see you, but he's in trouble, and it wouldn't be safe for him to come here.
Because of the holdup?
Yes.
I'll go with you.
There's an Indian coming. Try and get him away from here.
What'll I say to him?
Say anything, but get him away.
What do you... Why, you're the man who brought in the stage.
My friend asked you come Judge McCarry's office.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
My friend not believe Bob West hold up stage. Him ask you help get proof him innocent.
That's very nice of your friend, but I know Bob didn't hold up the stage.
But you not have proof. You come Judge McCarry's.
I can't right now. I have important business to attend to.
Clearing Bob West very important.
Yes, I know, but... I can't come right now. Tell your friend I appreciate what he's doing, and I'll try to get by to see him later.
Me tell him that. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you.
He's gone. Let's be on our way.
From a place of concealment, Tonto watched Virginia ride off with the man who had been hidden behind the draperies. Puzzled and concerned for the girl's safety, he decided to follow, leaving signs which would tell the Lone Ranger where he had gone.
O'Neill's bringing Virginia Elson out here. Huh? I'll explain while we get ready for her. Untie.
What now?
I'm going to have to convince people you really meant that letter.
Oh, so your little scheme's not working out, huh?
It'll work. O'Neill's bringing Virginia here, now.
What?
You'll meet her in the other room. You'll not be tied, but make one wrong move and you'll regret it. We'll have her covered the whole time.
What's the idea?
You're going to talk to your girlfriend. If she doesn't leave here convinced you've turned outlaws, she'll not leave here at all.
Why, you...
Shut up. Take my horse out back so the girl won't see it. You better figure out what you're going to say. Virginia's life will depend on it. Go on. All right, Byrne, get back. Be careful what you say.
Come in.
Bob, darling.
Stay where you are.
What's the matter?
I got you out here to tell you something, not to stage a happy reunion.
I don't understand.
I sent a letter to Robert saying I was going to run certain people out of town. In case they don't take it serious, I want you to tell them different.
I still don't understand. Did you rob the stage this morning?
Sure. I'm getting even for a lot of things.
But you wrote that you were over your bitterness, that you wanted to forget the past and start over again.
You shouldn't believe everything you read. Sure, I wrote that reform and sob stuff so folks wouldn't be on guard.
Is everything you wrote just sob stuff?
What do you mean, everything?
About asking me to wait for you, saying you loved me and wanting to marry me?
A man in prison has to write something.
I don't believe you. 2 years in prison couldn't have changed you this much.
I don't care whether you believe me or not. You'd better go now.
I'm not going until I know the truth.
I've told you the truth. Now leave me alone.
Can you look me in the eyes and say, Virginia, I don't love you?
Why not?
Then do it.
Virginia, I don't love you. Now, are you satisfied?
Yes.
Then get out of here.
Put up hands.
Back by wall. How'd you get here? Look out, engine.
Slade!
Yes, my dear. It's too bad the Indians spoiled our little scene.
They had us covered, darling. I had to say those things to protect you.
To protect me? Then you didn't mean them?
No, of course not. I love you, Virginia. That's all that matters now.
Oh, Bob.
Very touching, I'm sure, and very tragic. How's the Indian?
Not bad, just a shoulder wound.
Good, I want him to be able to talk. Oh, it's too bad you got mixed up in this. But when you disappear, people will assume, and quite correctly, that you've gone to join your bandit friend. Take him to the next room, tie him and gag.
Come on in.
All right, now, Indian, where's this masked pal of yours?
When Tonto failed to come to Judge McGarry's office, the Lone Ranger went to the Elston Ranch in search of him. He hadn't found him there, but he had found the trail Tonto had left.
I'll teach you to get stubborn with me. Your masked pal's bound to have a camp somewhere near town. Now, where is it?
You're plenty brave when men have hands tied.
That's enough of that.
You know, boss, I got an idea. Maybe the Indian wouldn't like to see the girl get hurt.
You're not hurt, girl.
Well, you seem to have found the answer, O'Neill. I should have thought of it myself.
I got a real sharp knife in my saddlebag.
Get it. Byrne will bring the girl in here.
It'd be a pleasure.
Maybe she'd like some boiling hot coffee.
Well, that's a possibility.
Raise your hand.
They were going to kill us.
You're safe now. Don't worry.
You'll be glad to know that Charlie, the stagecoach driver, is coming along fine. Slate's plan to frame Bob was mighty clever. And it would have worked if it hadn't been for you. You saved this town a mess of trouble.
There's one thing I'd like to know. Did Slate frame me on that cattle rustling charge? I don't know, but there was so little evidence against you that you would have been acquitted if he'd have defended you properly.
Who cares about the past, darling? We have the future to think of.
Yes, the future is yours, and I hope you and Bob make it a happy one.
Thank you. I know we shall.
Say, I hope you two can stay for our wedding. Thank you very much, but we have to be on our way. Goodbye, Sheriff Roberts.
I know how it is. You and Tonto still have a lot of work to do.
That's right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. What a wonderful man. I'm ashamed of myself for asking you who he was. I should have known he's the Lone Ranger.
Silver!